Selling with your tenant in place. We're going to talk about the do's and don'ts this morning. Stay tuned as we cover a really hot topic we get asked all the time before you put your property on the market. Good morning.
Good morning, Billy Drury. How are you?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
Awesome.
This is time to get asked this conversation, hey, like this question.
Oh, we have this conversation a lot. We really do. You know, where people are saying, so I've got the tenant in there. Is that going to affect the sales price? And how do I sell my property with a tenant in the property? So the cold hard facts are this: you can sell your property at any time. That's the truth. As a landlord / vendor, you're entitled to sell your property anytime you like, which is not great news for a tenant because a tenant considers that property their home. And I'm often saying to my clients, look, there's nothing in it for the tenant. Let's see what we can do just to make the whole process a little bit easier for the tenant. And, in terms of presentation as well, I think that's a big one, Billy, which I really, really want to cover off because people are genuinely worried that maybe the property's not presenting in tip-top shape when there is a tenant in there. And it's tricky because you can't actually tell people how to live just for the purposes of selling a property. So there's certain things that we do. What do you know about this topic?
Yeah, I experience this like day in, day out, and making the phone call to a tenant, letting them know their property's coming on the market. It's one of my least favorite parts of the job. It's such a rattling phone call for so many people, and people, they don't go through this very often. So they initially think, well, do I have to move out straight away? What do the changes look like to my day-to-day life? And, if someone's buying it and moving in, how much notice do I get? So it can be really nervous and rattling for people. But I think just approaching that with a bit of empathy and a bit of understanding, it goes a long way. And that's often where it all starts. So it's you can sell your property with tenants in place, and it's 2 weeks notice to even get the ball rolling. And that's the notice of sale.
Yeah. So we give them, exactly right, that 14 days notice of intention to sell when there's a tenant inside the property. If there is a fixed term lease in place, so let me give you an example. We're selling a property with a tenant in place and there's a lease on it until the 1st of October 2026, as an example. The lease stays with the property. So it rolls over with the property to the new owner. It doesn't mean that lease expires.
We've just lost you, Lise. But yeah, I think what Lise was saying there is the lease stays with the property. It doesn't actually terminate on sale. So there are different, very different regulations and notice periods, depending on whether the lease is in a fixed term period, meaning or whether the lease agreement is on a month-to-month, meaning that it's on the fixed term period's expired. It's just on a month-to-month period. So that's probably a good place to start and often ask your